Satnam and welcome back to the channel. My name is Gobind and this is your channel for grace, and also welcome back to the membership. This video is a special video that I'm putting out to the public because it is regarding a transit that is very, very important. And I want you guys to get a feel for what being in the Starseed membership is like. So what I'm going to do is talk about Mars entering into the sign of Cancer, what this is going to mean for us collectively. We're going to watch the chart and watch this transit move through the sky and see how long Mars is going to be in Cancer and why it makes it such a significant aspect transit. And then we'll go into sign by sign and tell you where this is happening in your chart. So when we talk about Mars, we are talking about a planet that is all about drive and motivation. Mars has to do with taking action towards things. It has to do with using that drive and motivation to get things done. Mars rules the sign of Aries, and Mars in Aries is almost like, you could think of like a soldier. Mars has a lot to do with like war and fighting and like aggression. It's the masculine energy. And as opposed to Venus, who is the feminine energy. And so with Mars, we are looking at how are we taking action in our lives? What is the theme, the collective theme that's kind of surrounding everything around us and helping us to navigate through like actually doing things? Now, when Mars is in a sign that it feels good, action actually can move forward, you could say more easily or with more drive or with more motivation or with more determination. But when Mars is in a sign that it doesn't feel good in, taking action is going to feel more challenging or more difficult. So Mars in Cancer itself is in what we call fall position. In the sign of Capricorn, which is the opposite sign that Mars is in, the opposite sign from Cancer, is where Mars feels exalted. He feels strong. He likes the energy of Capricorn because Capricorn is about taking action on our goals and steadily moving forward. And so he loves that. That's like positive connection between those two energies. The sign of Cancer, on the other hand, has to do with emotions and with feelings. And that's a very feminine energy. And so you could say that Mars in a feminine sign is going to affect us in a feminine way. So we have to look at what is the energy of Cancer truly, besides being feminine energy, besides being an energy that is ruled by the moon. It is an energy that loves to flow and loves the natural flow of things, the not being forced kind of flow. And that kind of flow, sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down, sometimes it's feeling high, sometimes it's feeling low. And that has to do with emotions. So when you have Cancer in this watery realm of emotion, the moon goddess, the sacred divine feminine, the high priestess energy, it is being asked to flow with this energy of the moon, to flow with this energy of emotions. So basically Mars in Cancer is like this long emotional wave. It's very much like we talk about in human design, the solar plexus and having a defined solar plexus and therefore having emotional authority, where you have to pay attention to the highs and the lows, and you really should only be making decisions from the neutral, not from the high and not from the low. So from the neutral space, which means it takes patience and it takes a lot of waiting to find the clarity that you are like truly looking for. And so in order to find that clarity, you need to give your emotions more importance than we are used to. And that's just because we live in a society that pushes emotions down, that asks us to not trust our emotions because they're always changing. And that is the key to why this transit is going to be and is a challenging one. And we're starting to feel it because Mars in Cancer is the desire to want to do something and act in some kind of way, but then your emotions being like, I don't feel like it. Or like, you know, really wanting to do something, but feeling somehow not motivated. Or having to move through the uncomfortable emotions and do the thing anyways, which always doesn't feel good, right? It's almost like forcing ourselves to do it when we don't want to do it. And that's why this can be challenging. So one of the key lessons of this Mars in Cancer transit is 100% learning like that emotional authority, because it literally is emotional authority. If for human design, and that's not like that's not like how human design would say, oh yeah, Mars in Cancer is emotional authority. That's my interpretation of it. It's definitely how that works. Mars is the planet of action. Authority, right, in human design has to do with you feeling your way through making decisions, and not only feeling your way through making decisions, but you have to feel your way through making decisions, because if you don't, you're not ever going to make the right decision, because you're either going to make the decision at the wrong time or in the wrong place. And that clarity can only come over time. So it's like 100%. I feel like we're all going to feel like we have emotional authority during this time, which is definitely difficult. Like a lot of the people that I talk to that have emotional authority, like sometimes you'll talk to them and they're like happy as a pig in shit or whatever, you know? And they're like, life is awesome. Life is amazing. Things are good. I feel great. And then next thing you know, they're in the low and they're like crying, you know, nothing makes sense. Nothing feels right. They're like distraught, like they're emotional and they can't get out of it. They're like fully in it. They have to feel it. They have to experience it to the limit, to the max, right? To the fullest. And when they finally come out of the whole cycle and they find a space of neutrality, it's like the space in between the space, then they feel more calm. Then they feel more clear-minded. And with that clarity, they're able to actually move forward. And then it's like the cycle begins again. So you better believe that during this time, we are going to be frustrated and emotions are going to get in the way. But the key is to guide your emotions through it. Almost like if your emotions were a child, you would not, this is a great example, you would not force a child to try to do something when they don't want to do it. We do. We a lot of parents do. Like we've been taught, like, I don't care, you know how you feel. You have to do this, you have to do that. And there's like a whole movement of like, you can't do that to kids, you know, because you're teaching them to like suffocate their emotions and push them down and repress them. And they're trying to tell you emotions are our most powerful communication system. Like when you have an emotion or a feeling, feelings are more like instinctual, but emotions are like deep felt. When you have like a feeling or an emotion about something and it's like negative, that's it's a guiding system. It's like, hey, you may be going in the wrong direction. If you go this way, if this makes you feel this way, like it's not right for you. You know what I mean? And so then you back off of that and you're like, oh, I feel the pressure is off a little bit, you know? There are moments in life where we have to do the thing that is difficult, and we might feel very uncomfortable about it and we might like really not like it. But then there's other times in life where we really truly, if we do the thing, even when we don't want to do it, that's really going to be such a detriment to us and it's going to make things worse. Forcing yourself to do things when you don't feel like it never feels good. There's another good example. When you're having arguments, you know, like when you have something to say and you're having an argument with like your husband or wife or whatever, and both are pissed off, and both are in a negative emotional space, and both are triggered, right? Because emotionally we get triggered. You're just going to yell at each other and nothing is going to get solved. You have to wait till the storm passes. You know what I mean? And in peace, we come in peace, to resolve the issue. There's so many times where my husband is like, this is not the right time to talk about this. And I'm like all frustrated and flustered, like, oh, but I want to resolve it now. And and I'm just like stubborn about it. And he's like, if we just kind of wait, we'll have a better conversation about this. And it's super frustrating to hear that, but I know it's true, And so I it's a reflection thing. It makes you reflect and it makes you think, okay, it's true. I'm not in a good space right now. So I need to wait till I feel better. I need to wait till this, has shifted, has changed. My energy has changed. My feelings, my emotions have changed, and I feel better. And then when I feel better, and a lot of times it's like, oh, you didn't eat breakfast or some bullshit like that, It's like you didn't take care of yourself. And so now you're all frustrated, like your body, like you're hangry or whatever. This is so funny. But that's another good example, right? Of how emotions get in the way of like trying to do the right thing, trying to make the right decision. You cannot make decisions from the low. And sometimes you can make decisions from the high, but sometimes that's not the best decision either. So it's kind of an uncomfortable space, 100%. And we just have to trust, we just have to trust, and we have to like keep flowing through the wave. And so I was going to get to a point about the child thing, right? Like how you wouldn't force a child to like when a child's having a tantrum, you can try to distract them from it. You can let them feel it. You can let them go through it. And it's uncomfortable as hell. But forcing something is never going to work. So we have to think about, during this time, our emotions as our inner child. And this is going to be the key to this whole transit. Think of your emotions during this time, and I'm talking it's going to be a long time, as your inner child that is screaming out and telling you like yes or no. Yes is like, this feels good. This feels right. I want to do this. No feels uncomfortable, anxiety, resistance, like your whole body gets stiff and doesn't want to do it. You feel depression, there is, a lot of us know about Abraham Hicks and how the law of attraction, but not necessarily the law of attraction, but more about like emotions and the wisdom of emotions, and how if you follow the emotional, high frequency emotional energy, it'll take you towards more of that. But if you resist and push away and stay in the negative vibrational frequency, you'll bring toward yourself more of that. Well, this is more of like, you can't just ignore the negative emotions. They're going to be there. Remember, the highs and the lows happen just as much, equally, right? So, and this goes on to like what Teal Swan teaches, which you can't ignore the negative emotions. In fact, it is within the negative emotions, like anger, sadness, grief, the deep ones, right? That you find the answer and the healing, right? The light within the shadow, basically. The gift within the shadow. And so having the wisdom, this is literally, this Mars in Cancer is literally going to teach us about emotional intelligence and what that even means. That's a term that I heard a long time ago. Emotional intelligence. Like, you do not reject what you are feeling, because what you are feeling is communicating something to you, is telling you something. And if you're not paying attention, you are ignoring your inner child. You are ignoring that deeper part of yourself that knows very clearly what is happening. The emotion is like a reaction. It's a communication from our soul, like right direction, wrong direction. And it's not like, oh, the right direction is the positive feelings and the wrong direction is the negative feelings. Not at all. The right direction is sometimes, yes, the positive feeling, but sometimes the right direction is sit with this feeling, feel it, go to the core of where this is coming from. Cancer rules the 4th house, which is the house of the home and family, which also has to do with being like how we were raised, our home, like all the dynamics there. And it's happening in that space, right? So that means that a lot of emotional triggers that will show up during this time are emotional triggers that come from childhood. And so if you sit with it, sometimes the right answer is to sit with the emotion and get to the bottom, to the core. When did I first feel this? You are going to do the most powerful healing of your life during this time. So you have to find the balance and you have to find the flow. There is no one right answer for this, for any of us, because emotions are like they can be complex. They're simple, but they're complex because of what they carry within them. So taking action sometimes is going to look like I wait until I feel better. Taking action sometimes is going to look like I don't really have a choice. So I need to help myself, guide myself as if I was guiding a little child out of a tantrum, out of an emotional low, and into a better space. Sometimes action is going to be, I don't take action today. But overall, patience is going to be the key during this transit because everyone is going to be emotional. And it's going to be difficult. You can't stop that. You cannot. Emotions are like the biggest part of life and humanity. Emotions are how we know, if we didn't have, imagine a world without emotion. Emotions are what guide artists to create beautiful freaking music. Can you guys hear the wind? Emotions are the beauty of life. So whether you like it or not, you hear a beautiful song and it makes you cry. You feel it deep within your soul. That's what I mean. So this is going to be a really powerful transit, and we have to know what it's all about. I need to go close my door because this wind is crazy and it's going to bring too much air inside. So give me 1 second. I'll be right back. But here's the chart that you can start to look at of this moment right now. And we're going to now focus our energy on watching what happens to Mars as it travels through Cancer. Give me 1 second. There is a crazy windstorm and we got a lot of sensitive things inside here. So let's take a look at this. Cancer is at 4 degrees. Cancer. Mars is at 4 degrees of Cancer at the moment, but he entered into the sign of Mars on September 4th. So let's go back to September 4th. So from the beginning, he entered into 0 degrees. Now, right before that, when he was at 29 degrees of Gemini, he made a quincunx to Pluto and didn't create a yod, but a quincunx is a little bit of the energy of a square. And that was the communication with this energy of Pluto that we will see more of. And I'll show you in a minute why. But it's Pluto bringing challenging energy into the picture. So enters into 0 degrees of Cancer, begins to move forward, finds itself to where we are basically today. And so we're just going to literally move forward in time day by day, and I'll show you what some of the things that are going to happen. So when Mars gets to, let's move forward. And I think the most important aspects are the ones that we should pay attention to. There, of course, I'm not going to look at the moon because the moon kind of goes around and around. And Mars is going to be in Cancer in a long time. So what we do is we move forward in time and we watch the degrees of Cancer, and we watch to see when the degrees make either a sextile or a trine or a square or an opposition. So right there, I see a powerful aspect. And this is September 29th. So this is Mars making a trine to Saturn. And it's within orb, also a trine to Venus. And that creates grand trine energy. So there will be a grand trine in water from Mars, Saturn, and Venus during this time. And this is about being able to use the maturity, the wisdom of Saturn to guide our action. This is the ability to find more harmony within what we desire, what we want, how we want to go about getting what we desire. And Saturn helps because he goes, okay, here's how you focus. Here's how you commit. Here's my recommendations for getting this done. So that is a positive energy that can bring in more determination and ability to commit. So we're going to keep moving forward. Mars goes on to 16 degrees, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Right there. There is an opposition from the Sun to Chiron, and Mars is T-squaring it. And that's around October 14th. So that is 100% challenging. T-squares from Mars bring in like challenging energy that is here to help you resolve things. And this has the theme of healing deeply within your soul, Sun opposed Chiron. And finding the truth deep within your emotional realm, deep within your emotions. This is one of those moments where like, yeah, you might be tested, you might feel triggered, and you're going to have to figure it out, and you're going to have to pay attention to your emotions. There is no way around it. It's like a wall that's in your way, and as you heal and deal with it, you find the door appears in front of you. Like the intensity melts, and you find yourself in a dream instead of a nightmare. So action, we're challenged to heal in a very deep emotional way. We're going to continue moving forward. 22, 23, 24, and we're already into October. 25, just going to keep moving forward right there. 27. At 27 degrees, Mars makes a trine to Neptune around October 27th. So that is like beautiful because that will bring in, and it's within orb of a trine also to Mercury. So this is another grand trine in water. Well, yes, and it'll bring more emotional harmony, or at least the ability to understand through the mind, through the heart, and use our intuition, because our intuition during this time can be 100% heightened and guide us into taking right action. So he continues moving forward, right? Now he's at 29 degrees of Cancer. So he went through the whole thing, and we are at November 1st. Now look at this. Right around that time, we're going to have to move forward a little bit more just to get more exact. Right around the beginning of November, end of October, beginning of November, Mars makes an opposition to Pluto. That is hard. That is straight up difficult. Because even though Mars and Pluto, they love each other, they co-rule the sign of Scorpio together, Mars opposed Pluto can get volatile. And add the inability to like have emotional intelligence. Dude, that's insane, because I just realized that that's happening right around the election day. Oh my. I mean, this literally brings up the theme of war, violence, aggression. Like, dude, and you've got the emotional realm, the realm of the home, versus the realm of like the outside world. So like the structures of the world. And remember, this is the last time that these two are going to have these types of connections, because Pluto is going to be going into Aquarius and totally like moving on from this energy. So this is huge. This is huge that this is happening right around the election. That's crazy. Oh my God. God help us all. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's going to be, whoa, very, very difficult to move through. I don't even know what to recommend for that, because I don't even know. Like, everybody's just like, you're going to have to figure it out. Okay. The next day, Mars actually moves into Leo. Even though that opposition energy is still there, he is now entered into Leo, and he continues to move forward. Actually, on the day of elections, the opposition is still happening, but Mars is at 0 degrees of Leo. So it's significant that he is like moved into the next sign. However, he's not going to be there for very long, but we continue moving forward, and he gets to 2 degrees, 3 degrees, and we're still watching. Now he's getting close to making a connection to the nodes, actually. So 4 degrees, when he gets to about 4 degrees, he is making a trine to the north node. So I feel like trines to the north node there's a lot of trines in this chart, actually. Trines to the north node are a beautiful reminder of, hey, remember, this is what we're doing. And the fact that Mars is going to be in Leo, where he feels much better than Cancer, and he's going to make a trine to the north node in Aries, which is his ruling sign. That's actually going to be a feel-good moment. This is also a grand trine, or not exactly, but close enough, I guess, to the sun. There is a within orb trine to the sun from both of these planets. So grand trine, you could say, in the energy of fire, would be activating and dude, this wind is crazy. I don't know if you guys hear it, but it's getting crazy. Like activating and bringing alive inspiration. Like very inspiring, very action oriented, very courageous. Like, whoa, let's go. Let's do it. Transformative too. All right, so we're going to keep moving forward. He gets to 5 degrees. We keep moving forward. You can tell he's kind of staying at 5 degrees. Right around there, Mercury goes retrograde in Sagittarius. And that's important. Remember, we're following Mercury retrogrades very closely this whole year because of Jupiter in Gemini. Okay, so we keep moving forward. He gets to 6 degrees, but you can tell he's really slowing down right now. There's a conjunction with Venus, and Pluto finally enters into Aquarius. And then right there, boom, December 7th, Mars goes retrograde. So the end of the year, I feel like it's going to feel sluggish, right? Ooh, I am not really looking forward to it, but you know what? We can all move through. We can all do this. So then he starts going backwards. So I'm going to go a little faster with this. And what I want to look at is just the important aspects that happens, right? Because look at this. Right there, when he gets to right around the New Year, right before the New Year's Eve, another opposition to Pluto. Mars opposed Pluto, but now he's at 1 degrees of Leo, and Pluto is at 1 degree of Aquarius. Now, Pluto is not, so they make one conjunction with Pluto and Capricorn, and that's the only one they'll make for the rest of our lives like that. and then they make the opposition in Aquarius and Leo. So a different theme, a different kind of energy. These two, you know, because Mars in Leo does feel better than Mars in Cancer, that's a positive thing. However, Mars retrogrades are like, things slow the hell down and you can't really do anything. You feel like stopped. You feel like the train stopped, like there's traffic. You know what I mean? Like we can't, like things could keep coming up and it's like you got to do it, but at the same time, you can't. Things just don't move forward when Mars is retrograde. These transits feel like pretty awful, right? And I will do a retrograde video when that time comes, but this is the overall view of like the transit that we were originally talking about of Mars in Cancer. And the reason why we talk about this retrograde, including this energy, is because he goes back into Cancer during the retrograde. And he continues going back. And now instead of looking at all the different aspects, I just want to go back all the way to see how long he's going to be in Cancer for retrograde. So right until February 24th, he goes direct. And then he has to, again, go through all those Cancer degrees forward. So he's still in Cancer. We're in March. And he's still in freaking Cancer. And then finally, April 18th, like right before, into the new astrological year of 2025, he barely comes back into, right, Leo, but then he's going to still be in shadow right about till like May. So this is a lot. That's a lot. Where are we right now? Right now we are in September. So October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Like 8-9 months of like him dipping into this Cancer energy. So overall, like I mentioned in the beginning, this is one, a very long transit. Two, it's going to be an uncomfortable one. Both because Mars will be in fall position and because he's going to go retrograde. I mean, Mars in fall position is one thing, but Mars in fall position going retrograde, like, whoa. So there is going to be deep, deep healing happening during this time. A lot of emotions and emotional triggers. And I feel like this is going to be a huge opportunity for us to do some beautiful and powerful inner child healing. So what I want to do next is go through each of the signs and tell you where this Mars in Cancer is happening in your chart based off of your rising sign. So you look at your chart, where is Cancer, and I'll give you a little bit of insight into what you're going to need to focus on and what the energy is going to be like for you based off of where this transit is going to be happening in your chart. So we are going to start with Aries rising. So for these readings, I only do the rising. I don't do Sun, Moon, Venus. I just do the rising because I'm telling you, we're trying to find where is this in your actual chart, right? And I use Placidus houses. So Aries rising, 4th house of the home and family. So the transit of Mars is going to be affecting you deeply in the place of home and family. And so you need to pay attention. You need to be aware. You need to watch. You need to have consciousness about how you react, how your emotions like just either blow up or not. This is going to change, this is going to send you into a deep, intense experience of home and family. For Taurus rising, 3rd house. So this transit for you is going to affect communication. And that means that you need to really pay attention to how you feel when you are going to communicate things, because there's going to be a right time and a wrong time to like speak up, a right time and a wrong time to like say something. And communication is going to be emotional for you. So you need to know how you feel. You can't ignore emotions during this time because the focus is, how do I find, how do I pay attention to my emotional communication in order so that I can actually take action in my life. For Gemini rising, this is happening in your second house of values, self-esteem, money. So good luck. No, I'm just kidding. That's going to be intense. You may experience a lot of like low self-esteem things going on. So you need to lift yourself up. You need to find ways to lift yourself up. Find your emotions will guide you to find what is the most important to you, your values. And you need to like be in that place, like find that place and let it guide you through and out of any negative emotion or feelings that you have regarding yourself. And then also you'll be dealing a lot with like money and emotions. And so be careful, like, you know, don't overspend, don't hold yourself back from doing important things, because it's always quality over quantity with Taurus. Just focus on quality and you'll be guided in the right direction. For Cancer rising, this is going to be happening in your first house. So this whole journey is really centered on the self and on self-identity. And when you are able to recognize within yourself these, you know, deeper desires to express, to know yourself better, and you can pay attention to the emotions and how they are who you are. You are emotions. You will find a very beautiful way of like healing, like these like deep, because the inner child healing of the emotions is going to be like a deep healing of your inner child that will then express itself out into the world in a really beautiful way. But the emotions for you in this case is going to be, yes, an inner experience, but also people will see you, like you'll see a lot of emotion coming through you. For Leo rising, 12th house. So this is a transit that affects your spiritual realm or your spiritual life or your spiritual beliefs or your faith or your connection to God. So you need to allow yourself to feel and let your emotions guide you to what is your truth in this space. What is your truth? Like, what do you want to do about, you know, your spiritual life? How do you want to take action so that you find more connection to the divine? And pay attention to when you're holding yourself back from doing that. Virgo rising, 11th house of friendships, networks of people, sharing your gifts with the world. You may feel emotionally driven to share yourself with people. And then there's going to be moments where you're not going to feel. So you will flow. We're all flowing, right? Highs and lows and neutrals. So you're flowing through, I really want to do this for the people. And then, no, I really don't. Or I have to do this. I don't have a choice, but it's for service. So it's important. Or however that flows for you, that's the realm that you are really going to feel it at. For Libra rising, 10th house of purpose, life path, purpose, mission, showing up for the world. So people they're going to be watching you. People are going to be watching what you do. So pay attention to who's watching you, because you are like, this is like, you influence people from this place and they're going to follow in your footsteps, right? This is the leadership space. And if you're not like clear in your emotion, you may seem all over the place and it may be hard for people to trust you. So be clear, always clear about, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. This is what I'm going to do about it. For Scorpio rising, 9th house of spiritual integration. So you get to take this powerful emotional frequency and really do deep work, inner work, that will ultimately not just like heal, but that healing eventually takes quantum leaps. And that healing eventually like raises the frequency and expands, very Sag, expands out, and then it like self-integrates. So you're going to be doing a lot of emotional integrating during this time that ultimately will lead you to grow and expand and learn. Sagittarius rising, 8th house of death, change, and transformation. So during this time, you're going to be taking action via the emotional guidance to let go of things that no longer serve you and, start to do things that do serve you, or focus on the things that do serve you. So this is a transformative time for you that will happen through the emotional realm. This is like a shamanic death ritual. And so you're going to be purging emotionally. It might be kind of intense. All right. Oh, but also let me go back to Sag real quick. So also what you're going to feel is very determined and very strong-willed, because Mars in the 8th house of Scorpio feels strong there. So that's the positive of it. Strong-willed, determined. All right, now Capricorn rising, 7th house of relationships. This may be difficult. And relationships like in the realm of home too. So, I don't know. I think you may, at times you might see like yourself being really needy. Emotions will like really flavor your relationships. And sometimes it's going to feel great and sometimes it's going to feel like shit. And you're going to learn about yourself a lot through this process. So when you take action, consider how it's going to affect the people around you. Aquarius rising, 6th house of being present, being in the moment, paying attention. This is going to bring you into the moment. This is going to help you to understand yourself at a deep level. Your emotions, understand your emotions at a deep level, and the feeling of the emotions brings you right into the moment. Because when we're feeling emotion, we are right here with it. It's like, oh my God, I cannot feel this, so I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do this because I feel this. Right? So like this energy will bring you right here. Pay attention, because there's always wisdom. And this may be your chance to connect with feelings more than you have, because, Aquarius can be not non-emotional, but like a little, detached. So this is not going to be the time to detach. This is the time to feel and be present with your emotions. So that's huge for Aquarius. Pisces rising, 5th house of creativity, passion, inner child, healing, children, romance. I feel like this is not going to feel super uncomfortable for you, because emotions are just a natural part of who you are. Your sensitivity is a natural part of who you are. I would say this is the perfect place to channel your emotions through creativity. Channel your emotions through creative activities, to like creative projects, creative aspects, and that will give you the ability to like release the emotions and flow and continue to flow and continue to flow. And last but not least, for everyone, remember that what we are doing is flowing, and learning how to flow with our emotions. So that is the most important thing to pay attention to. Thank you so much for being a part of the membership. And if you happen to be watching this on YouTube, come join us in the membership. You get videos like this all the time when planets ingress into new signs, when there's special things going on in the astrology. We have private events every month. We have 2 events every month. One of them is like a group support session on Zoom. And the other one is a workshop that prepares you for all of the energies of the upcoming season. And throughout the seasons, I put out videos like this to help you navigate these crazy and wild times. So I will see you all again very soon. Sat Nam, and have a beautiful transit of Mars in Cancer.